and welcome, viewers. One more time, and the final time. The Supreme Court has demolished the EVM doubters. Viewers, I went to vote today. I went to vote so proudly because I believe in my democracy. And I, like everyone, found the process extremely transparent. And 100% of you feel the same way. If 5 frustrated individuals and 2 good-for-nothing NGOs want to plant a seed of doubt in your mind about EVMs, the Supreme Court has told them today to take a walk. I'm not using impolite language. Ladies and gentlemen, Harish Salve no less, who has had a long history with the case, will explain to you tonight why you must never doubt or suspect our own electoral system. I'm proud he's joining me tonight. This system is what makes us stand apart as a democracy. And only those playing to foreign agendas, only those who are anti-India, will try and erode your faith in a system that makes us stand apart. Ladies and gentlemen, we debate that tonight, once and for a final time. Ladies and gentlemen, Harish Salve is joining me. Debate number 1 tonight is on EVMs and what the Supreme Court said on EVMs and VVPATs. And it's not so complicated as you think, and Harish Salve will explain to you about that. We have Mahesh Jethmalani on a debate after that as well. Ladies and gentlemen, big debate on that this evening. And it's at 9:20. And in case you want to know how the elections are going, who better to tell you than one of the stars of Indian politics, Himanta Biswa Sarma, Assam Chief Minister, top BJP leader, is joining me live at 10 o'clock tonight, straight from his party headquarters. And yes, it's a packed show at 10:25. Chandrababu Naidu on the hot seat with me, giving his sense of where the elections are going. So it's a packed and unmissable show, and here are the headlines this Friday evening on the Debate Tonight. Huge setback for the EVM doubters. Supreme Court rejects the plea for paper ballot, says cannot blindly distrust the system.
कोर्ट ने मतपेटियों को लूटने का इरादा रखने वालों को ऐसा करारा तमाचा मारा है, ये अब मुंह ऊंची करके देख नहीं पाएंगे जी.
On the campaign trail, the Prime Minister calls out the EVM cynics, says the top court of the country has delivered a jolt to the vote looters. CBI recovers arms ammunition from Shah Jahan's aide in Sandesh Khali. Meanwhile, the Bengal government moves the Supreme Court against the High Court order directing a CBI probe. Polling day violence in West Bengal's Balughat. BJP State President Shukanto Mojumdar gheraued by TMC workers.
SC ओबीसी के लिए सुरक्षित है, उसे लोग धर्म के आधार पर बांटने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं. टीएमसी और कांग्रेस के जोड़े रखने का सबसे बड़ा चुंबक है तुष्टीकरण.
The Muslim reservation row gets bigger. The PM hits out, says the Congress must stop appeasement politics. And the race for the mega 2024 poll battle intensifies. Larger voter turnout registered in phase 2 of polling today. Very significant development as the country voted in the second phase of the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. The Supreme Court has given EVMs a big vote of confidence. The top court bench has rejected the petitions seeking 100% verification of votes cast on EVMs using VVPATs. It's called for trust in the Election Commission. Let's debate.
राजा की आत्मा ईवीएम में है, राजा की आत्मा ईवीएम में है.
आज सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ऐसा करारा तमाचा मारा है, ये अब मुंह ऊंची करके देख नहीं पाएंगे जी.
The Supreme Court has wrapped EVM cynics, dismissing pleas seeking 100% VVPAT EVM verification. The top High Court has observed nurturing culture of trust will help strengthen democracy.
For the very first time, the top court highlights through its judgment vested interest group motives. Para 5 says a trend has been fast developing of certain vested interest groups endeavoring to undermine the achievements of the nation earned through the hard work and dedication of its sincere workforce. They've also said in Para 28, mere suspicion is not sufficient ground for the petitions to be maintainable. The highlights of this judgment that has rejected the petition seeking 100% verification of the data in the EVMs is clear. While coming down heavily on the petitioners, the SC bats for democracy.
The apex court has called out the skepticism of EVM doubters. Top jurists have slammed the opposition.
This is now, an attempt to cast doubt on an inevitable verdict. These people are just sort of, laboring their case and repeatedly making attempts to, get some order which casts aspersion on our electoral system.
PM Modi has reprimanded the Indie bloc for misleading people.
इंडी गठबंधन के हर नेता ने ईवीएम को लेकर जनता के मन में संदेह पैदा करने का पाप किया है, लेकिन आज देश के लोकतंत्र की ताकत देखिए। आज सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने मतपेटियों को लूटने का इरादा रखने वालों को ऐसा करारा तमाचा मारा है, ऐसा करारा तमाचा मारा है, ये अब मुंह ऊंची करके देख नहीं पाएंगे।
But the India alliance continues to cry foul despite scathing observations by the top court.
इस बार नहीं, चलिए अगली बार कोशिश तो हमारी जारी रहेगी कि तमाम वीवीपैट्स जो हैं उनको जो है रिकंसाइल करके ही इलेक्शन का नतीजा जो है वो डिक्लेयर किया जाना चाहिए।
ये लड़ाई लंबी है। माननीय सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जो भी फैसला है उसको अंततः सब स्वीकार करेंगे, लेकिन लड़ाई रुकेगी नहीं।
Why is the opposition still in denial mode? Let's debate.
Our executive editor Rhythm Anand Bhardwaj and I are joined by India's topmost jurist, senior advocate and King's Counsel Harish Salve, joining us from London this evening. Mr. Salve, you have a history with the case. I need you to explain this once and for all for people. And let me tell you frankly, Mr. Salve, if I can be a little informal about it, I'm fed up about this constant questioning of the EVM system. I went to vote today, Mr. Salve. And I found the process so smooth, and I found everyone who was coming out in a jiffy, happy with a smile. You could see who you had punched your vote for. You could see the VVPAT slip. But when we see these people, even in the second phase of voting, trying to cast aspersions, what is the intention? Let's go to the intention here before I go into your history with the case. Mr. Salve.
Did you, when casting your votes, see how the names are arrayed?
Yes, I did.
They're alphabetical?
Pardon me, no. Alphabetical.
It's candidate-wise, right?
Candidate-wise, yeah. It's not in alphabetical order, no.
No, the candidates' name are written one after the other.
Yeah.
So, BJP or Congress could be in one constituency, the 4th, in another constituency, the 7th, in some other constituency, the number 9th button. Correct?
Yes.
It's not that the same political party will have the same button all the time. Correct? Let's start from there.
Yes.
So the suggestion that the machine is rigged, that any button you press, number 4 will get pressed, may actually end up with all independents getting elected. You know, I mean,
that's true, actually. Yeah.
This challenge had come up, exactly this challenge, in 2019. One thing, Arnab, you asked me the motive. I want to put a doubt. This is the season of creating doubts. Let me create it up.
God, yes.
Why is it that when every time happens, there is an American expert?
American expert?
There is a 2019, there was an American expert who said, I can hack this machine. When Hindenburg happens, there is an American report.
Oh, that's right.
When human rights abuses happen in India, there is an American
angle.
Always. No, there's always a foreign expert.
Oh,
of course, nobody tells you that we feed information to a selected person, he gives a report and then we present it. This is what goes on in all these.
You're right, you're right.
Now what happened in 2019 and what happened this time? And that's why I feel the Honorable Prime Minister and your sanguine hope that this is the last you've seen of this may not be true. 2019, the Election Commission declared what they called a hackathon. They said, come along and hack it.
Yeah.
Mr. Kejriwal's party sent somebody. I think the American expert or his friend, somebody came. And he said, I have to take the machine home. And he came with a machine which was hacked.
Yeah.
So the short answer was yes. If you change the motherboard, you can change it, right?
Yeah.
So,
anyone can. You can. Rhythm can.
Correct. At home.
Rhythm can. Who can't operate a cell phone properly, even she can.
Correct. But what did they say? That anybody can run away with this machine and fix it and come back. So we said, that's not what you are saying. You're saying it can be hacked. I remember settled the counter affidavit of the Election Commission for the Supreme Court in 2019, I think, or maybe 2018, 2019. And that is when I was educated on how this machine works. It is not connected to the internet. It has no Bluetooth connectivity.
Right.
Its connection to the printer with the VVPAT is by a cable. So there is no way in which you can, to use digital language, talk to this machine. Secondly, and I'm again speaking of memory, these machines are all stored in a warehouse. When the stores are opened and the machines are taken out, the representatives of political parties are invited. The machines are first jumbled up and made into separate lots and sent. If it is a state election, the requisite machines are sent to the state. If it's a Lok Sabha election, phase-wise, the machines are sent to the states where the elections are going to be held. When they reach there, those boxes are opened, again, presence of political parties, representatives. The machines are jumbled up. And then they are taken for programming constituency-wise, because as you saw, every constituency will have different names of candidates. And therefore, the button for a political party will depend on what the list looks like. That is done in the presence when it is dispatched, and then the machines are received. A trial run is conducted of the machines. The machines work well, and then the machines are deployed for elections. The VVPAT is what we call a belt and braces provision. It is just to make sure nothing goes wrong. And the Election Commission has clarified there has never been a discrepancy between the VVPAT and the machine. That is yet another falsehood being perpetrated. So I fail to understand why, on what basis are these doubts created? Once again, the same story. The machine can be hacked. Somebody can fiddle with the machine. Somebody can do this. Somebody can do that. But you know what gives away this time? What gives away the game? Let's go back to paper voting. Why? Because Germany has paper voting, right?
Yeah.
Germany has paper voting. England has paper voting. How different is the culture and the ecosystem here? In England, every citizen of the Commonwealth who pays tax is entitled to vote. So I have a vote in England. I will be voting for the House of Commons here when the elections are held. I'll walk up to the polling station. They're all having tea, coffee. A handful of people show up. They ask for your name. I have never been asked for an identity. They take your word for it. You give your vote, you come away. This is the ecosystem. This is the culture here. This is the ambience in which voting is held. Can you compare this to the rough and tumble of Indian elections? So, when people give these kind of examples, wonder. And they are not uneducated people.
And
they know it.
I tell you.
This is basically putting the country's democracy in a question mark. We have people who go and conduct seminars. I'm not naming anybody. They are very eminent people, extremely, extremely clever and wise, who go and conduct seminars with students of Oxford and Cambridge, run India down. There are people who go and give speeches all over the world and say Indian democracy is dead, Indian constitution is dead, India has dictatorship, including those whose family had imposed emergency, make these kind of speeches. So, this has been going on to pull India down. And today, I have said this before on your channel, and I repeat this, Arnab. Today, when I walk on the streets of this city, people look up to me as an Indian. There was a time when people smiled derisively at you. Today, people look up to you. There are some people who are not happy with this.
We're proud of that.
And there are some people who are not happy.
We're proud of that. We're proud of that, Mr. Salve, and we're proud of that. I mean, let me tell you, and I put the next question to Rhythm, just something anecdotal. Today when I was going there to vote, and there was this school where I was voting, and there were all the teachers there and all the people there who were standing up in the different booths, where you're voting. And I asked them, and I thanked them after casting my vote. I said, you are doing such a great service for the country. Such a great service for the country. And they said with a big smile on their face, this is what we feel so proud doing. And some of them told me that Arnab ji, आज हम सुबह 4 बजे आ गए, 4 बजे पहुंच गए इस प्रक्रिया को सुरक्षित करने के लिए, उस पूरे प्रक्रिया को में कुछ हमारे योगदान के लिए. So when you see that sense of pride and then you see the cynics, I don't understand. Now,
so this is what is happening. People are not happy that India is reached where India is reached.
Correct.
And that is why this is putting your whole system in a question.
In a question mark. And I want to put the next question to Rhythm, because Rhythm, I think we must push Mr. Salve more on that point. It's going viral already. He's saying, why is it that there is always an American behind the doubters? There's always, when Kejriwal, this 2019 case has said it's very easy to hack the machine, there was an American who said, I can hack it. Mr. Salve appeared, I think, before the Election Commission or for the Election Commission.
The Supreme Court.
Yeah, and he appeared before the Supreme Court and he said...
defending Election Commission.
Defending the Election Commission. And later also, now we find many American interests, American publications, Western publications questioning our process. So maybe you can follow through with him on that. Rhythm.
Sure. Mr. Salve, like
I will just add one thing.
We need...
Somebody recently told me, your India is not giving a fair chance to all political opponents to contest elections. I said, yes, we are following in America's footsteps. See what you're doing to Trump.
Mr. Salve, very interestingly, like what Arnab said, and I want to tell you today, para 5 of the judgment of Justice Datta is so clear. He says, I have serious doubts as regards the bona fides of the Petitioner Association. This is the Petitioner Association, the Association for Democratic Reforms, allegedly a non-profit organization, allegedly activists and allegedly lawyers who state in the Supreme Court that EVMs are not correct. My question here is, this is not the first case that you and I have seen in the Supreme Court where NGOs are misusing the work they have, but the Supreme Court also says vested interest groups that are trying to undermine the achievements of the nation should stop. There seems to be a concerted effort to discredit, diminish, and weaken the progress of our nation. Sir, when is it, do you think, the NGOs and the scam of the NGOs that's been exposed now is going to end?
Have you done your research to find out who are the members of the Association of Democratic Reform?
I actually did just before coming on the show.
It's a very high-sounding name. Who are they?
Well, there are a couple of activists. There are some lawyers. Some
name them, Rhythm.
Okay, the lawyer for them is Prashant Bhushan, whom Mr. Salve is always berating India.
Always.
And
always.
Even the Supreme Court today, he spoke.
I'm asking you for a reason. There was a PIL filed based again on a draft CAG report when Reliance had been given the geo license for 1800 crores. And this is when the license was minus the spectrum, despite which Reliance had to pay 1,800 crores because the government said we yet have to fix a price. After which the price has been fixed on the license, it's I think 100 crores or 200 crores. But again, on the draft CIG report, a writ petition had been filed by the Center for Public Interest Litigation. It came up before Chief Justice Thakur's bench. He said, please explain to me what is this Center for Public Interest Litigation. I can understand an environmental association or a gender protection association or a rivers protection association filing a PIL. What is this Center for Public Interest Litigation? Who decides which cases to bring? So he gave the name of late Mr. Anil Diwan, late Mr. Fali Nariman, and 4 or 5 others. Promptly the next day, then he said, Chief Justice asked him, have all of them seen and approved your petition? There was no answer, and I do remember Mr. Anil Diwan and Mr. Nariman made statements next day saying, we are no party to this.
Very important, very important.
So please check who are the high-sounding names in this association and how many of them are willing to put their name on a challenge to EVMs. Please ask them next time.
Yes.
And the American
How many
angle.
of them are willing to say that an unknown American expert or some unknown expert somewhere is saying that the Indian elections are a third-rate process because they are all based on a machine.
But who's paying these American? Who's paying these American experts?
Please find out. And also, and if they are doing it pro bono, it's worse because that means somebody is paying them and they are not disclosing.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a free lunch.
Yeah, and you were just running a clip of somebody saying, "Kya kiski jaan EVM mein?" It's a very derisive comment.
Very, very, very.
Correct? Now, what is the message you are giving to the world? People, as it is, hate the fact that you have a stable democracy. I am telling you, in UK today, one of the biggest concerns is how stable is the government. Italy governments keep falling. Germany governments are in problem. They envy the stable government we have had for 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
They envy the stability of political. You may like Indian policies, you may dislike them, you can attack a policy,
Yes,
criticize it, condemn it.
Yeah.
But there is political stability, there is certainty.
True that.
And people are envious of that.
Absolutely.
So they want to say, oh, but because you're a banana republic, your elections are all rigged. What's this big story about Indian democracy? So that is really what is going on. And I'm sorry, we Indians are the first ones standing in queue to throw bricks on our own face.
Next panel. Absolutely. Yes, Rhythm.
Mr. Salve, if I can ask you one more question. There have been several cases that you've appeared in the Supreme Court. There was a Chhattisgarh case, we all remember. It was about certain Naxalites and protection. At that time also, there were certain people who were brought on record. That time there was an Australian, I believe, expert who was brought in. The questions that need to be asked to them is, are they so bothered about human rights in their own country before they come to ours and question ours in the top court?
I'll tell you, now that you're provoking me, I will tell you. I was appearing for the Chhattisgarh government. There was a lady petitioner, I don't want to name her. She had a different name from the author of an article in Hindu. Later on, my clients, the government said, sir, do you know her husband writes articles and the wife files petitions? And in the course of the hearing, one of their lawyers, who is one of these activist lawyers, walks in with some people, says, look at these people, they will tell you, they're telling the judges what is going on, and they were not even allowed to enter. And I said, who are these gentlemen? They were obviously not Indian, they were foreign. And he said, they are from Australia Broadcasting Corporation. I said, first, please ask them if they have ever made a study of what happened to the Aboriginals in Australia, of what happens in the outback of Australia to people who are treated badly. I mean, Australia has serious problems. Every country has serious problems. Have they ever studied all that? No. They are not interested in their own country. The Americans are not interested about what's happening to the original American, the what we call the Red Indians. They are not interested in that. They're interested in India. They're interested in Indian tribals. What about their own country? Their own country, when white people went and settled at tribals, what's happened to them? Why don't you worry about that? Why don't you stop worrying about Indian tribals? We are good enough to take care of our own. So, this goes on all the time.
Absolutely. Well, Mr. Harish Salve, you put it excellently in perspective. And you've also given a very, very interesting spin to it, where you have said that there's always this American angle. And I'm of the view, Mr. Salve, some international random expert in some random place making a random allegation.
And see what happened in Hindenburg. An Indian company, which has a global reputation, took a banging.
Which has strategic interests, which has strategic value for India globally, which is doing business in Central Asia and in the Gulf region, in the Middle East, with Israel, that is critical to India's strategic interests, is targeted.
Then you feed information.
Yeah.
You feed information, that comes back and you produce it in their report. So,
correct.
These are things where trouble is we blink at it, we move on, and again the next petition will come with similar allegations.
No, as I conclude,
you must run this to the ground.
No, we have to. We will. I mean, if anybody will, Republic will. We are very categorical about this. I've stuck my neck out on it, Mr. Salve, throughout.
Yes.
Throughout. And I feel so proud when I go to the voting booth, Mr. Salve. And I thank you for putting it in perspective. You've been fighting this since in 2019 and before, and you played a stellar role as usual, Harish Salve. Thank you for setting up the debate from Rhythm and me. I'm joined by, right now I've got on the debate, Kapil Madan and Ishkaran. Ishkaran, is this the end of it? Are they going to learn a lesson? Stop here?
One would hope so, that they have learned the lesson, but prior record says they keep trying to do this. At last count, they have tried it 40 times. So what happens is, anytime something does not go in their favor, as the election results don't tend to go in their favor, then they start blaming the CAG. Arnab, I remember your debates on the time when you were exposing the corruption. That time they were in power, they blamed CAG. Now they're out of power, they blame the CBI, the ED, the CAG, the Election Commission, the EVM. It's a very long list of people they blame, except their leadership. When they don't get the votes, then they blame the voting public, call it Hindutwadi public. So there is no person they will not blame except themselves, their leadership.
Now
specifically on EVM.
What Kapil said the last time he came. What Kapil said the last time he came is, Arnab, has the court given a verdict? And I said, no, but I know the observational direction of the court. And he said, you know nothing. But today, I knew the observational direction of the court and I know the verdict. And I expect this to be a full stop now, Kapil.
Can I, I'll make a few quick...
No, first you concede I was right.
So Arnab, allow me to make my point, and then you may draw conclusion. So I would like to first highlight what Mr. Salve said, and I was quite amused and I was quite astonished, because Mr. Salve made a very naive argument when he said that if there are different serial number mentioned for a respective party person who is contesting, then how could it be possible that the vote will go to the BJP? So I will just decode this argument and I'll explain the fallacy of this argument. Now, for example, if I save your number with 5 different names, so when I I call maybe A, B, C, and against A, B, C I have your number feed, the call will go to whom? Call will go only to Arnab. Maybe I have saved it by the name of Ishkaran, maybe I have saved it by the name of Rhythm, maybe by Abhishek, but the call will go to him. So
don't plant a seed of doubt like this.
No, I am sorry. No, I'm making a logical argument, Arnab. I mean, I know you don't have patience to hear logical argument, but that's the reality of it. And allow me to, please make my point. Now, my second point is...
The Supreme Court said there's no logic in your argument.
Arnab, please hold on. So, Arnab, if you read para 76 of the Supreme Court judgment...
para 76 hai? So, I'm so fed up when you talk like this.
I'm sorry, you don't have para 76.
I am so fed up when you talk like this. I have everything. I have para 64, para 53 and para 76. Don't ever question my research.
What is para 76?
I have para 76.
Let me tell you. You read para 76. There are 2 directions given in para 76 in A and B. Let me first quote direction number B. Direction number B says... the Election Commission will ensure that 5% of the chips will be preserved and will be sent for testing if someone makes an application to check the correctness and the veracity of it. Now,
Go for
if
a
the
bit, yeah.
Supreme Court, so the Honorable Supreme
me.
Court was conscious of the fact that there could be a situation where the machines were not working properly, maybe deliberately or maybe inadvertently, we don't know. But Supreme Court has very
First of all, no, first of all, this is, no, absolutely not. The gentleman in question says, Arnab, do you know para 76? Do you say para 76? He tries to impress people. He tries to tell people that Arnab does not know para 76. He tries to say, Siddharth, I don't know para 76. He has the temerity to say on national television that Arnab Goswami doesn't know what is out there in a Supreme Court verdict.
It is shattered. Your premise of your debate goes.
Arey yaar, you know you were.
Para 76.
I think
para
you
76,
are being absolutely ridiculous when you're coming out with such a blasé argument today.
Rhythm, what is 76B?
Any lawyer was to actually hear you.
क्यों बताए 76B? क्यों बताए 76B?
Actually,
why would you not read para 76B?
Number one, the Supreme Court is
not read para 76B? Please give me one reason. Give me one good reason.
I'll give him a good reason. I'll give him a good reason. Now I have got Mahesh Jethmalani also there. No, 1 minute. Mahesh, hi. I'm being troubled by this young man, so I'll settle with him and then I'm coming to you in a minute. All right, Mahesh, this is my moment. He comes on my program, Mahesh, and he says, with a wizened air about him, Arnab, do you know para 76B? And he thinks like all those Lutyens anchors who don't know their homework. I'll say, no, I don't know para 76B, kindly guide me. Not only do I know para 76B, Mahesh, but I will now deal with Kapil and then come with you. I know para 75, I know para 64, I know para 16. Para 76B says, can I have Kapil as I'm giving him a class 3 classroom lesson? Para 76 says that please load the symbol loading units in a container, right? And please take care of them. Para 75 on the contrary says, Siddharth, para 75 says that we have conducted a very detailed review of the system. And it says, in our opinion, EVMs are simple, they are secure, they are user-friendly, voter, candidate, representative officials are all aware of the nitty-gritty. The incorporation of VVPAT system fortifies the principle of vote verifiability, thereby enhancing the overall accountability of the electoral process. And this man, Siddharth, questions me on the basis of the succeeding para 76. He does not talk about para 75. And hence he is guilty of facetious deception. Condemn him, Siddharth. Condemn him in unequivocal terms tonight. Condemn Kapil. Condemn Kapil for misleading the people. Condemn him, Siddharth.
You may have few more senior
Take him to the cleaners tonight, Siddharth. Come on.
Yeah, Arnab, forgive me, we are on ground campaigning, so I was not able to hear or see the earlier part of the debate. I think it was with Harish Salve ji.
Yes.
So forgive me if I make a few repetitions because I was not aware of what happened between in that debate. So I think your the headline is absolutely right. SC, the Supreme Court backs EVM.
Yes.
So the moot question here is that who wanted the EVM to be sacked in the first place? That is the basic question here. Now, as far as EVM versus ballot is concerned, this issue was fathered by none other than Mr. L.K. Advani, Mr. GVL Narasimha Rao, Mr. Dr. Subramaniam Swamy, and the then Gujarat Chief Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, all from BJP. So basically, BJP cannot disown or abandon its own child. Now, what essentially has happened is that BJP is straddled by a huge albatross. Once an adulterer, always under suspicion. Within months.
What under suspicion? By whom, Baba?
I'll come to that. That's why.
By whom, Baba? 1 minute.
Forgive me. Forgive me, Arnab. I asked for a little bit of margin today because I was not aware of what happened earlier. So I'll just finish it off in 10 seconds. I'll not take much more time. Within months of BJP robbing votes of opposition in Chandigarh, it went ahead and swindled the votes of its own supporters in its own citadel of Surat. So basically, as per BJP, there is no need for EVM. There is no need for people to vote.
So that is a completely
BJP
different matter. There's no link between the Surat thing and this, please. There's no link between Surat and EVM and VVPAT.
I'll come to
what are you holding? Why are you holding up a Republic story on Republic World?
Exactly.
Giving free publicity to my website. Don't mind. I don't mind. Carry on.
No.
Carry on. Please give free publicity.
No, it's not free publicity. It's a very relevant fact that
I know we put relevant articles only. Yeah.
Exactly. So what I'm quoting here is that essentially what has really happened is that if the entire process of EVM being tampered to was so right, why did today's Supreme Court say the symbol loading unit has to be preserved for 45 days henceforth from the present 1 day as it is today? Why now 5% of booths will be verified instead of 5 booths, a net increase of nearly threefold? Why now second and third place candidates are given?
So now you are happy or not? Now you are happy or not? Are you still unhappy?
My last 10 seconds, I'll rest my case. It clearly shows that democracy and transparency are not stone monoliths etched forever. Rather, they are a very democratic interplay between people, technology, and dynamics. And justice needs to be done. It has to also seem to be done. I think what the Supreme Court has today done is that if we see the entire EVM process, earlier when the EVM first came in, there was no VVPAT. Then the VVPAT came in. After the VVPAT came in, there was no counting. Then the counting started. After the counting, there was only 5% counting, 5 booths counting. Now it is 5% of counting. Earlier, there was no challenge by the second or third place candidates who wanted to challenge. Now it is. So I think it is a democratic evolutionary process. And anybody who, in a democracy, anybody can, I think what Supreme Court has done is that
so in sum total,
it is also seeming to be
some total rhythm. Sum total, okay, we are a Darwinian evolutionary process all going on, no problem. Sum total is now, will they be happy? Now, if Modi wins a big mandate, will they still say something? So your first question to Mahesh Jethmalani right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we've had a great run tonight. We have started with Harish Salve. We're on a political debate. And now we have a take from Mahesh Jethmalani. Rhythm, over to you for the first question to Mr. Jethmalani.
Mr. Jethmalani, as you are joining us today, I think the one thing that we need to set clear is the two judgments by Justice Datta and by Justice Khanna are absolutely clear when they say that democracy needs to be upheld. They've said and pinpointed for the first time, I think, ever that vested interests need to stop because our democracy cannot function in this manner. I think one of the very important things that is missed by the naysayers and the political people here who are trying to politicize the issue is that the 2024 general election has to be having an expenditure of 1 lakh crore. They said there are 10 lakh polling booths that are required to be set up. Voting booths will be set up, as you said, Mr. Jethmalani, earlier, in the furthest of villages at the foothills of the Himalayan mountains, as well as the delta of the Sundarbans, which are only accessible through boats. These people are trying to undermine the EVMs that are going to really show and highlight India's democracy at its best.
Rhythm, Kapil Mishra read out a paragraph, a very selective paragraph 76, and also a misconceived one, right? Let me just give you, right? Let's have the resounding verdict of the court in its own words, all right? Yeah. This is Justice Dipankar Datta's observations.
Yeah.
It is of immediate relevance to note that in recent years, a trend has been fast developing of certain vested interest groups endeavoring to undermine the achievements and accomplishments of the nation earned through the hard work and dedication of its sincere workforce. He further observed that there seemed to be a concerted effort to discredit, diminish and weaken the progress of India on every possible frontier, and such effort has to be nipped in the bud, he said. Then he says, no constitutional court, far less this court, would allow such attempt to succeed as long as the court has a say in the matter.
Yeah.
I have serious doubt, please note, as regards the bona fides of the petitioning association.
Yeah, absolutely.
when it seeks a reversion to the old order.
That is the point you need to think about.
The ballot paper system where the Lalus of this world and the Mamta Banerjees would use their goons to booth capture through acute violence.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That is what Prashant Bhushan and his associate wants. They want a subversion of democracy while claiming they want to uphold it. They are fraudsters. I say that this petition was a manifest fraud attempted to be perpetrated on the court, and the Supreme Court nipped it in the bud.
Yes, that's very big. You know,
final. This is the final. Justice Datta said that any suggestion to revert to a paper ballot system of voting appeared inexplicable. It is only improvements in EVMs or even a better system that people would look forward to in the ensuing years.
I mean, what more can you put out there? I know you're not on a debate on this. I don't want to get you on a debate. I want to go by the rules of engagement which we agreed to. But I must get a comment, if you don't mind, separately from Kapil and Siddharth to this. Because I need to keep the debate contiguous, you know. So to what you've heard, do you mind if I get a reaction and come back to you on that? So,
yes.
With your permission, Kapil and Siddharth Sharma, you know that these are very important lawyers of the country, and what is?
Just take 20 seconds response. Whenever you're done, just give me 20 seconds.
All right, you said the cat among the pigeons, Mahesh, as usual. Who goes first? Ishkaran is disappointed that Ishkaran is shaking his head furiously tonight that Harish Salve first and Mahesh Jethmalani are being questioned by Kapil Madan. And okay, fine, Kapil has the right. Go on, Kapil.
So yes, I'll just take 20 seconds. I heard, Mr. Jethmalani very patiently, and he was very, fervently referring to few critical observation from the Supreme Court. Well, he is entitled to, but I would just ask Mr. Jethmalani here. He represents BJP. Because it was Mr. Advani in 2009, he questioned the functioning of the EVM. So whether when he was referring to, those observations, whether he is referring to those observations qua Mr. Advani or not is my question to Mr. Jethmalani. Because
I'll tell you what he's referring to.
He got it. He got it now. He's replying now, please.
I don't think that Justice Datta was referring to Mr. Advani because Mr. Advani never moved the Supreme Court. Let me tell you who he was referring to now that you asked the question. He was referring to the same band of people who filed a similar petition in December 2018 before a bench, which, by the way, also consists of Justice Khanna, and which made the same stinging observations against the petitioners in that case. So he was referring to, in recent years, the attempt of people to repeatedly subvert our democratic system. Kapil Mazhar, please, for God's sake, do not read judgments selectively. Don't misquote the Supreme Court. You people have brutalized our institutions already.
Oh,
you are misquoting
strong language.
selectively.
I'm sorry.
I'll allow Siddharth also to come in. He uses long language tonight. Mahesh Jethmalani says, you people. See the language he uses. He says, Mahesh Jethmalani says, Siddharth, you people have brutalized the electoral system. Brutalized it.
Institution is safe from your assaults.
A very clever admission made by Mr. Jethmalani. He does not dispute that Mr. Advani did challenge.
No. Don't try and go around in a spin on this one. He doesn't do that. He doesn't do that. He doesn't do that. That is neither the context or the interpretation tonight. Is Siddharth still there on air? Is Siddharth still there on air? This now.
He's not disputing that.
See, if we want anarchy in India, the real point is, and I go to rhythm. See, viewers, I'll tell you one thing. There are people, when Narendra Modi first got elected, you know what happened, rhythm, one person who was then an editor of a paper, now runs some small website. He said that there are, the electing classes. He says the masses cannot decide, the classes must decide. There's a fundamental disagreement with the fact that the masses of the country voted for Narendra Modi. That is how I see this in context. Siddharth Sharma is Aam Aadmi Party senior spokesperson, raised his hand. With your permission, Siddharth.
Yeah, I was trying to raise a very pertinent logistical question here.
To whom? To Mr. Jethmalani?
No. Regarding the Supreme Court judgment and the implications of it. The implication right now is that right now there are less than 5,000 symbol loading units. The same unit is repeated in every round. Now,
everything will be. All this has been checked, yeah.
Now, for the next 5
all this
rounds,
has been
manufacturers will have to manufacture thousands of SLUs by May 1st because the old SLUs will stay sealed. Now, coming back to what Jethmalani ji said, I think we cannot afford selective amnesia. In today's case, a senior leader from BJP, Mr. Dr. Subramaniam Swamy, was also part of the same case, asking for 100% VVPAT count. So I think Mahesh Jethmalani ji from BJP cannot hide from the fact. It's a fact, and it's nothing wrong in it.
I don't think Dr. Subramaniam Swamy is a member of the BJP.
He's an MP from BJP, sir. He's an MP.
He's not an MP anymore. He's not an MP anymore.
So are you disowning Mr. Subramaniam Swamy as being from BJP?
I'm not disowning him. I don't have to disown anyone.
But he doesn't speak.
Fair enough.
He doesn't speak for the BJP. The whole world knows. You think he speaks for the BJP?
Knows that except you.
He is a BJP member. He is a BJP member. He was a Rajya Sabha member of BJP. And
he was.
Past tense.
How come Mr. L.K. Advani, Mr. GVL Narasimha Rao, who wrote a book, and they were the fathers. That's why I said in my opening statement, this entire EVM thing.
That's already been answered by Mr. Jethmalani when Mr. Jethmalani put it into context that there is not no Supreme Court. Don't try and diminish the debate with what you're saying. Will you or Kapil really answer what the Supreme Court said and Mr. Jethmalani actually read it out? Don't try and discredit and diminish the importance of the EVMs for your own motives.
In the early 2000s.
No. They are all being selective, Rhythm. Siddharth, with your permission, and with no intention to disrespect you, I invite your attention to line number 11 in point number 69 of the Supreme Court verdict today, which says, in the context of Subramaniam Swamy, it says, Mr. Jethmalani, that the court in Subramaniam Swamy case had directed gradual introduction of VVPATs to guarantee utmost transparency and integrity in the system. This direction, Mr. Jethmalani, was made to safeguard the right of the voters to know that the vote has been correctly recorded in the EVM. This direction has been completely implemented. The voter can see the VVPAT slip through the glass window, and this assures the voter that his vote has been recorded and will be counted. So the matter is settled. Mr. Jethmalani.
Yes, but the point is...
Mr. Jethmalani.
Why are they going into ancient history? Why are they not talking about the resounding defeat and the words of the Supreme Court today? They started relying upon the Supreme Court judgment, para 76. Kapil ji said, and then the rest of the judgment has escaped them. They have looked for a needle in a haystack.
So, Mr. Jethmalani, allow me to point out, you mentioned the credibility and who the person are. So let me also tell you, and all our viewers, it is the same organization that was the petitioner in the electoral bond scam that has exposed the government.
But
it is the same organization
that questioned the petitioner.
Don't forget.
Kapil, that's exactly what Mahesh Jethmalani started talking about. Look at para 5. They've questioned the bona fides of the association for these so-called reforms. Please try and understand when you are going on putting up the stack like Mr. Jethmalani is saying, you're not really coming to what the judgment stands for today. It stands for democracy.
Jethmalani is coming back on the debate. He's coming back right now.
He can argue and he can defend.
Mr. Jethmalani, louder.
He's now retreated from the EVM judgment and now he's going to the electoral bond case.
But you said...
So I take it that you've admitted that you were resoundingly wrong about the Supreme Court judgment. That yours was a selective quotation of that judgment, a selective excerpt which did not even mean what you said it meant.
The bank, and he could not get the time that he was sought. He was
anyway, see...
And then the bank had to give information in one day.
At least honor the Supreme Court's judgment, Kapil. At least have that much respect.
An organization that
they have given the people whom you are defending today a resounding slap.
At the same
Don't defend them. By defending them, you are undermining the Supreme Court, which is your own. You will continuously undermine our institutions.
You can't,
even after they've given you a resounding slap.
You can't simply say that the
Yeah, Rhythm. Today Mahesh Jethmalani is on a roll, and we've had a great debate.
And as for the AAP representative, he would be better off looking at all the various scams and defending his leader in court now. He should focus over there. Starting with the liquor scam.
Jethmalani ji, I think BJP needs you very close, very soon.
Arey Baba, first go save your leader, then talk about EVMs.
Has been found at the doorstep of BJP. BJP itself took the ED accused money from Sharath Reddy, 60 crore rupees. So I think the BJP
Okay, we had
you in the very
We've
near
gone to
future.
another case now, Mr. Jethmalani.
This is a great show we're having tonight. Listen.
From EVM to electoral court.
Okay. Have we all agreed that we've had a great, robust debate tonight? We've enjoyed
No,
it.
but let's hear Ishkaran wanted to say something.
Ishkaran wanted to say something, yeah.
I just wanted to end with what the Supreme Court said while reserving the verdict. The Supreme Court observed if you are predisposed about a thought process, then we cannot help you. So Mr. Jethmalani, Ishkaran, Arnab, nobody can help them because they are predisposed to a thought process.
Yeah. No, you have to be open, you have to be flexible, you can't have a mindset. Correct, Ishkaran. And we've had a great debate tonight, viewers. And it's great to have Rhythm back on air after quite some time, ladies and gentlemen. And on the other side, I have a fantastic political guest for you. This is a man who makes headlines, who goes viral the moment he starts speaking. There's something magnetic about this gentleman. His name is Himanta Biswa Sharma. And he said a few things yesterday which have gone completely viral on the social media. On the other side, he joins me on his estimate, not just of Assam, but nationally. Himanta Biswa Sharma, one-on-one on the other side.